This question is causing a lot of controversy here in Western New York. With so many local kids playing hockey, the parents, it's hard for them, almost as painful when they see their child getting hit, a hard check. So the question is, should these Pee Wee leagues ban checking at certain ages?
Yeah, and Dr. Barry Willer, you're here from the SUNY Buffalo Medical School to talk about this. Now, you're an expert in concussions, and you've actually researched this topic in particular?
Yeah, very much so. We conducted the largest study done on kids playing hockey. We looked at approximately 13,000 kids playing over a 5-year period, so that's a lot.
And you made what determination?
Well, fairly strong evidence that body checking does introduce a greater risk for injury, at least at the time at which it's introduced. We were looking at a league where body checking was introduced at 9, the age of 9, and in that case there were a fairly substantial increase in injuries, although most of them were of a minor nature.
Now, let's clarify. USA Hockey wants to raise the age of checking, banning it from the ages of 9, 10, and 11, and raising it to 13.
That is correct. To
be the first time that players can actually check on the ice. You think that's wrong?
I think it's more than wrong. I think it is a very serious mistake. The data that we have says the age at which you introduce it is when you're going to get a major increase in injuries. If you get a major increase in injuries at 13, you're talking about larger kids with a greater disparity in weight among them.
They're bigger kids.
Well,
right.
They're bigger kids, but there's smaller kids within
right.
the bigger kids. And they've got testosterone.
Aggression.
And yes, and 13 is like the worst time.
So do you think the age should remain at 11, or should they possibly bring it down even a little bit younger then?
I would go younger, but certainly not go older. The kids just will not be able to have the skills to take the checks. The rates of injury among those 13-year-olds are going to be so high, and more important, the injuries will be serious.
Explain this graph to us very briefly.
This is from our study. And you can see the first spike is at 9 years old. There's an increased rate of injury when body checking was introduced.
Are we talking concussion injuries or just basic injuries?
All injuries.
Okay.
Concussion is a proportion of those.
Okay.
Then you see at 10, the kids have adjusted to body checking. Now you move along and you see a second peak, and that's 13. That's testosterone. Now, combine the age of introduction of body checking with the age of testosterone, and you will have a very, very serious increase in serious injuries.
Well, you know what? I'm sure this is an ongoing controversy, and we're going to have you back to see what happens after this is put in place.
Well, I would appreciate the opportunity.
Well, we'd appreciate it if you come back.
Yeah, thanks for all your insight.
Thanks, Dr. Miller. All right.